Hello, and welcome to... Today we're talking about the brand new cross-format All-Star Thassas Oracle. But before we dive into this fishy card, remember to like, sub, comment, and ring YouTube's bell. Okay, you did that? Good. So Thassa's Oracle is a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard for 2 blue that says when Thassa's Oracle enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put up to 1 of them on top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. But if X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So most combos with Thassa's Oracle require you to empty out your library, either by drawing a bunch of cards or milling yourself out or exiling your library. You get the picture. And in most of these combos, you could easily replace the Oracle with Labman or Jace Wielder Mysteries, both cards that let you win the game if you draw off of an empty library. Now, although Thassa's Oracle has seen a lot of play, or probably will see a lot of play, in a lot of formats, the 2 formats I'm going to focus on here are Pioneer and CEDH, or Competitive EDH. And then I'll talk about some cards that let you mill yourself out easily, just so you get some janky EDH in there too. So let's go into Pioneer first. Let's talk about Dimir Inverter, a Pioneer combo control deck that just won a GP. This deck revolves around you milling yourself out with Inverter of Truth, a 6/6 flying Eldrazi for 2 and 2 black that exiles your library when it enters a battlefield, and then your graveyard becomes your library. Once you get rid of your library, you either win with Thassa's Oracle or Jace. A pretty simple combo that gets the job done. The rest of your deck is disruption to your opponent's hand, counter spells, and draw spells. Besides the win-con pieces of this deck, a very important card is Dig Through Time. For 6 and 2 blue, you can look at the top 7 cards of your library and put 2 of them into your hand. But the key part about Dig is the Delve function, which allows you to exile cards from your graveyard to make the spell cost less. Thus, you can effectively pay 2 blue and exile 6 cards to look for your win conditions, and at the same time you shrink your graveyard so when your inverter hits the battlefield, your small graveyard becomes your small library, making it that much easier to mill yourself out with Jace or have the win con active with the Oracle trigger. And that's pretty much it for the Pioneer deck. It's pretty straightforward, but it's still a unique and very competitive deck that's winning games in Pioneer. But now let's look towards competitive EDH. If you've been tuned into any MTG chatter on the internet, you've probably heard about Sushi Hulk and the need to ban Flash, an instant for 1 in blue that lets you put a creature from your hand into play. If you do, sacrifice it unless you pay its mana cost reduced by 2 generic mana. At first, this might not seem terribly broken. Yeah, it's a good card, but it gets much better when you pair it with Protean Hulk. This beast of a card has seen a ban before, and was actually unbanned in EDH in April of 2017. When Protean Hulk dies, you can search your library for any amount of creatures with a total converted mana cost of 6 or less and put them into play. This means if you use Flash to put Hulk into play and let Hulk die, you just get to tutor for 3 creatures and put them straight onto the battlefield simply for 1 and a blue mana. And although that seems good, that's just the start of this combo. Now, when you grab your 3 creatures, here's what you grab. Nomad's Encore, Cephalid Illusionist, and Thassa's Oracle. The Nomads can redirect 1 damage from them to another creature for free. The Cephalid makes a player mill 3 cards from their library when it is targeted by a spell or ability. The trick here is that you can activate the Nomad's ability targeting the Cephalid even when it's not being damaged. Thus, when your 3 creatures come into play, your Oracles enter the battlefield effect goes on the stack, and you hold priority, and in response to that ETB, you continually target your Cephalid with your Nomad's ability, and make yourself mill 3 every time. Once you mill your library, or until you have 3 cards in your library since you have at least 3 devotion of blue, you let the Oracle trigger resolve, and you win the game. This combo is very hard to interact with because once the Flash resolves, you need very specific cards to stop it. cards that can either stop the Hulk's death trigger like Stifle or Rest in Peace, or that can hinder tutoring for creatures like Grafdigger's Cage and Aven Mind Sensor. The other kick in the pants for your opponents is that you really don't need to tutor for the Oracle with the Hulk. Instead of the Oracle, you can grab Grand Abolisher to stop your opponents from casting spells or activating abilities while you mill yourself out. Once you're all milled out, you can just flashback Dread Return by sacking your 3 creatures and returning Thassa's Oracle to the battlefield to win the game. Also, if your Oracle happens to get exiled, you can just tutor up Labman with your Nomads and Illusionists instead, as the total CMC for all those cards is still 6. Or you can just hold off until you get your Jace out and then flash Hulk for your Abolisher package. It really is a powerful combo, and this 4-color deck is kind of the dominating force in competitive EDH now. So now you know why Thassa's Oracle is kind of a big deal. But if you want to play it in a janky way in your regular EDH decks, here's some ways to mill yourself out. You could do the Hulk combo, but just grab Inverter of Truth and Thassa's Oracle, and make sure your graveyard isn't too large. A jankier version of Inverter is Leveler, a beefy artifact creature that just straight up exiles your library. Play your Oracle and win. Hermit Druid makes you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a basic land. You put that basic into your hand and all other revealed cards go to your graveyard. But if you're not playing any basics in your deck, then you just mill yourself out. Slap out Oracle for the win. Similarly, Tainted Pact exiles the top card of your library. You can put it into your hand unless it shares a name of a card that is exiled this way. Keep doing this until you choose to put a card into your hand, or you exile 2 cards with the same name. As long as you don't have multiple of your basic lands in your deck, you can exile your whole deck. Just make sure the Oracle is in your hand. Demonic Consultation is like Tainted Pact, but a bit more straightforward. Exile the top 6 cards of your deck and then name a card. Reveal cards until you hit the named card, and exile the rest. So just name a card that's not in your deck and bam, no library. Again, make sure Oracle is in your hand. Another good black card here that can make you mill out your library. Doomsday lets you pick 5 cards from your library and graveyard and makes you exile the rest. Those 5 cards become your library and you can put them in any order. Grab your Oracle and 4 other cards that can help you win the game. Here's a classic colorless mill yourself out strategy. Mesmeric Orb makes a player mill whenever a permanent they control becomes untapped. Basalt Monolith taps for 3 mana and then you can pay 3 mana to untap it. You can see where this is going. Tap it for 3, then use that 3 to untap it, making yourself mill 1 card. Do this until you can win with the Oracle. And finally, my favorite for last. Enter the Infinite. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library and then put 1 of them back on top of your library. Play this. You draw your Oracle if it's not in your hand already, and then you play it and you win. Simple, straightforward, jank. And that is how Thassa's Oracle is warping Pioneer and competitive EDH, plus some jankier ways to do some non-competitive EDH Oracle shit. Are you playing Oracle in any format? Do you think it's too powerful? Should Flash be banned? Should Hulk be banned? Let me know down below. What do I think? I don't know. I just play EDH. That's all I do. So, if you liked this video, I know it's a bit different than regular combo breakdowns, but if you like this video, like and all that good shit, and when you're looking for your next combo, you can find me back here on Combo Breakdown.